Okay, this video is to go over February 25th's warm-up, solving systems. This video is meant to be a guide. You should think about stopping the video often and trying to do the steps that I'm suggesting, and then seeing if you can complete it from there. So when looking at a system, we are going to go for that stair-step effect, right? We want the first equation to be 1x, which that's good. But then we want the next equation to just have y's. It should not have any x's. And then we want the last equation to just have z's. It shouldn't have any x's or y's. So if I'm going to go for that stair-step effect, I personally think, and here's the problem with systems, there's an infinite number of ways you could go about this, which is why teaching it is so hard. I personally think if I swapped row 3 and 2 as my first step, it'll make getting rid of those x's easier. So that's what I'm going to do for my first step. I'm going to write every equation down below. So try to leave enough space that you can see the gaps between your equations. That's not going to change the first equation. And it's going to swap the next two lines. Be extra careful that you don't make a mistake when swapping them. There's so many places you can make a mistake on these. Okay, so now when I'm looking at my equations, again, I have that first row done. Basically, the first row is always going to be good enough. I need my second row to be a 0x right here. So if I need that to be 0x, I'm replacing my second row. So I'm going to start at second row and point down here. If I do row 2 minus row 1, that will get rid of the x's that are in row 2 and go from there. Now's a good time to pause the video. Keep equation 1 exactly the same. Do the math, row 2 minus row 1, and replace your row 2 with that math. And that means row 3 is going to stay the same, by the way. We only change one row at a time. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. So here's what I did, right? I did, I don't have a cursor on this, but I did x minus x, which gave me 0x. Negative y minus 2y gave me negative 3y. Negative z minus z gave me negative 2z. And 4 minus negative 4 gives me 8. So be extra careful in your math here. Okay, so now my row 1 and row 2 are good enough. I'm on campus, so there's going to be bells. So now I want to work on row 3. Row 3 is not allowed to have any x's at the beginning either. So I want to make this 2x become a 0x. The only other row that has x's in it is row 1. So I'm going to change row 3. So I'm going to point my arrow there. To make the x's cancel out, I need to do row 3 minus 2 row 1. Pause the video and see if you can make that happen. So that means row 1 is not going to change. Row 2 is not going to change. And then you're going to do that math to get row 3. See if you get what I get. Okay, so 2 minus 2x gives me 0x's. Y minus 4y gives me negative 3y. Negative z minus 2z gives me negative 3z. 1 minus negative 8 gives me 9. Okay, I'm getting closer to the stair-step effect, but now we need row 3 to also not have any y's. So I need my y's to cross out in row 3. So we want to use row 2, otherwise I'll be having x's back in the equation. And I'm changing row 3, so I'm going to put my arrow on row 3. If I do row 3 minus row 2, because they're opposite, I need them to be opposite, then my y should cross out. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. Not changing row 1. Not changing row 2. Row 3 minus row 2. Negative 3y minus negative 3y gives me 0y's. Negative 3z, the minus becomes plus z, 2z, is going to give me negative z. 9 minus 8 is going to give me 1. Now we have that stair-step effect that we're looking for, right? This diagonal here is our stair-step. And now we can just start solving for the variables. So from here, I'm going to draw a line, do my work way up here. We have negative z equals 1. We'll divide by a negative, and now you know z equals negative 1. Now plug it into the row above it, right? This row where my big dot is going. I know negative 3y minus 2 times, but I know z has to equal 8. Now I know y. Now plug it into the row above, right, where that second big dot is going right now. I know x plus 2 times y, but I know y, plus z, but I know z, has to equal negative 4. So x must equal positive 1. And then remember, it's still a point in three-dimensional space. I said three-dimensional, so I wrote a 3. So you need to make sure you write it as a point for your final solution. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys are not giving up and trying to find your tiny, tiny errors if you make any along the way. Hope you're doing good.